First, I have no particular comment on the declaration of the President of Iceland, which I didn't read, so it's not usual for me to comment on things I didn't read. I take it that the plan which we considered a good one, as I said a moment ago, has been discussed thoroughly with the IMF and with the Commission in liaison with us. Please.
Claudio Celani from EIR Strategical Air Service. Mr. Trichet, commenting on the Irish crisis, the President of Iceland, Mr. Grimson, a couple of days ago, pointed to the fact that the solution adopted by Iceland of separating the domestic debt of the banks from the foreign debt of the banks allowed the country to be today much better off, so that the government not only could protect its citizens, but could also renounce to the full amount of the IMF loan. My question is, what prevented you from acknowledging the success and suggesting the same solution for Ireland? My second question is related to the disclosure of Federal Reserve data on loans given to the banks at zero interest rates yesterday in the United States, which is creating some backlash, especially because of the long list of European banks which used Federal Reserve money. So that the author of the disclosure bill, Senator Sanders, who is an independent who has been re-elected, said yesterday in a press conference that Congress will now monitor much more closely Fed loans abroad, and he added that this will give Congress more authority to push for a reintroduction of bank separation, the famous Glass-Steagall Act. I'm not going to ask you my regular question on this because I know what your opinion is.
Thank you. I was fearing that you would have the third one, but you had two. That's okay.
No, my second question is...
No, I have already two.
There was no question here.
I have already two questions. Yeah, there was no question. Then if there is no question, sir, I listened very carefully, but
this is the question. This is the question. Will this affect, how will this affect, whether this will affect Europe?
Thank you. First, I have no particular comment on the declaration of the President of Iceland, which I didn't read, so it's not usual for me to comment on things I didn't read. I take it that the plan which we considered a good one, as I said a moment ago, has been discussed thoroughly with the IMF and with the Commission in liaison with us. On the second question, I would only say that those European banks that are in the list had activities, and all what has been done was within the framework of global finance, and we are all interconnected, obviously. I think that this is part of what is, in my opinion, extremely important, that we continue to have an interconnected global finance, but also with level playing field, with fair treatment, with absence of going back to, I would say, some kind of inward looking in all various marketplaces. We need fair treatment, we need open and fair treatment, and I think that it is really what we are doing at a global level. As you know, it is the doctrine that we have, to have the same rules everywhere, to apply the same rules to all those who are participating. So I have no other comment than that, but I trust fully all other partners, not only the United States and the Fed, but also all other partners in the world, including in the emerging world. Thank you very much indeed. Sir.